Alyssa, how's prep going?
I was just
Pretty
about
good.
to ask. I thought she was. It looks like she's in prep.
Feels
Yeah.
like it, which I think I need to just, I feel like sometimes prep helps you survive. So it gives me something to focus on. And I'm just locked in. I have no other choice. So yeah. Um, I haven't confirmed my first show, but definitely doing Texas Pro. But
Hey, Alyssa, you're 31. How old are you?
yeah, 31.
31. And Brett, how old are you, Brett?
31.
Okay. Do you guys? Okay, so I kind of assumed that as you got older, it would be easier to like deal with life stress and shit like that. But I feel like
I
it
would
gets
say most of
harder.
the time.
But I swear, I feel like sometimes it gets harder. I feel like I
Yeah.
have
Well,
more stress.
you get more challenges, different challenges.
I
I'm
think so.
dealing with that right now. And it's like I thought about this morning on the treadmill. I was like, it used to be the diet and the cardio that was the really hard part for me to do, and everything else was easy. Now it's like the diet, the cardio, the training's the easy part, and it's just dealing with everything.
Yep.
Real life. It's the opposite.
Yeah, I'm
It's
being
the opposite.
tested. I'm being tested, but I
Yeah.
have big goals and achievements I want to make. So I feel like I'm just being built up strong enough to be able to maybe hold that crown at the top of the title or whatever. You know.
Right. People,
He-
people, people usually get into bodybuilding, well, because you love it, first of all, but it can do a great job as being a distraction to some extent. And then early on, let's say in your 20s, you get into prep, and when the prep gets hard, you completely forget about real life, and you're just focused on, oh, the cardio is hard, the training is hard. But now it's like you said, that part is the easy part. That the distraction is so good. Like you want to be distracted so bad that you don't mind the fucking cardio, you don't mind the diet. It's more so real life is the hard part. Then you're like, damn,
Yeah.
life is beating the shit out of me. What the fuck, you know? So it's almost like prep becomes more pleasant, whereas in
like
the past,
it's like an escape.
100%, 100%. You know, we I feel like early on you prefer off season because you get to eat all this food and lift all this weight and it's so fun. And then now you look forward more to prep so you can just zone in and not
Yeah.
have free time to think about anything.
That's
You
how I
know,
feel right now.
you see, you see.
I'm like, man, I should be prepping.
It's easier said than done, but in life you have to focus on the present because what 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 stresses people out is past and future, right? You're thinking about, oh, the future. Oh, what am I gonna do if this happens? And what if the so you're stressing out over the future, or you're thinking about the past and you're like, ah, that was a bad move. Ah, I fucked that up. I fucked up here. I fucked up there. I should have done that, right? But it's like, how do you live in the present? Like, the fuck, you just ignore. It's difficult to do now when you're in prep. You can do that because you're like next meal. You're not even thinking about show day. You're like next meal, next workout.
Yep. Makes
So
it
it makes
easier
it
to live in the
exactly.
present
So
at least.
exactly. So that's the best thing you could do for your mental health, to live in the present, because you can't control the future or past. The past already happened. What you gonna do about it? Can't go back in time. And in the future, who the fuck knows what the future holds? You know, you can assume the worst, but you don't know that. You know, so that becomes the hurdle. So I'm definitely looking forward. I'm looking forward to prep just so I could focus on the present. You know, life doesn't get any easier. You just get more responsibilities, and then the older you get, you put more pressure on yourself to do better, just in every way.
Yeah.
And if it warranted, maybe we should be doing better. I don't know. You know. Okay, but anyways, are you in off season, Brett? Off season mode?
Literally, today was day one. Honestly, I
Oh,
took my pre-workout from a sponsor. I don't take stim pre-workout, but like I can pound a dialed, pound any kind of like energy drink, and I'm like chilling.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, my heart's racing right now, and I took it at like 8 a.m. maybe.
Oh no.
I'm like,
What was it? What pre-workout was it?
it's called Horsepower by Icon Muscle.
Mm.
How much caffeine do they have?
That is an excellent question.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
that might
let
be
me,
it.
I'll look that up for you real quick.
Those dialed energy drinks,
I
man,
love it.
I
love it.
sweat so much when I
Do you
take
really?
or like one
Yeah,
drink and one gummy,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Okay, I'll try to stack those.
This is why I prefer something like that over. I don't really take stim pre-workouts unless I'm doing legs or back because I mean even with legs I gotta be careful because I don't want my heart rate going crazy while I'm trying to recover from legs.
Yeah.
So you know, so dial it gives you a focus without overstimming you as well. So
Yeah.
that's the best. Pump pre-workout I take every workout, but the stims even when I take a stim pre-workout I'll take like half a scoop. So I try not to get more than
It's a
100,
blind, so it's
150.
not going to tell me.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's
No worries.
gotcha.
Yeah, I
So
try
I'm
to
going to just assume it's a lot.
probably like 300 or close to 250, 300, I would think.
I haven't used like any other pre-workouts than my sponsors, so I don't know what's like even out there now these
Yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah. You don't know what's high or low. I
Yeah.
think I, I think
Oh,
it's way
give me one
overused.
sec. That's my rice.
There you go. I
As his
think
heart
I
monitor. I'm kidding.
no, I think stem pre-workouts are way overused just because people just throw it in there and they don't throw it in there when they need it. They just throw it in there like a baseline. And what
Yep.
happens is you don't even feel it. Like after 5 months of doing that, you don't even feel it. So people taking pre-workout to feel normal, you know, and and then when they don't take it, they feel like shit, which is not how you want to use it. But unfortunately, that's what it's become, which is great for supplement companies, but not so good for you.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like pump products lately. That's usually my preferred. Not, and by lately I mean like the past few years. Like that's just my go-to.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Well, we're also speaking of being dirty as well, right? We don't need to be hyped up to work out. Working
No,
out isn't like you know. This is not a fucking what do you call those fucking? It's not
a
like a
tour.
medal.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
but
CrossFit.
yeah, it's not an MMA fight. Like what are we doing? Like you pick a weight that you feel 8 to 12 reps. You don't have to yell. You don't have to be. You don't have to be excited. I'm super calm in there. I don't even listen to music. I'm meditating. I'm gonna move the weight or not. If I have to psych myself out to lift the weight, maybe it's more weight than I should be lifting. Yeah. So it's like it's more of a feel. Yes, the weight is still heavy, but it's a feel. It's training properly isn't about being excited. I
Have you
think
ever
some people
tried?
get.
Oh, have you ever tried training like Eric?
I've actually trained with Eric about 3 times.
Like just how he does, like slow and stretch.
Literally, like he put me through the workout, so he's controlling the tempo and everything. And
Dude, you get pumped so quick.
I mean, it's a really good workout. It's
Yeah.
just, I have a hard time by myself being
Doing
that
that.
strict.
Yep.
Exactly.
Same. I've tried a few times and then I find myself like speeding up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. But for the wrong reasons because it's more so it gets boring and monotonous to me,
Yes.
which isn't a good excuse because if it's working, that shouldn't matter, right?
That's
Emotion shouldn't
true.
matter. So but then you can say emotion does matter because if you look forward to your workout, maybe you'll train harder. So I kind of found a middle ground. My form doesn't look like Eric, but it doesn't look like the way my form used to look neither. So it's kind of like a common ground, but
Happy medium.
we're exactly. But those pumps are crazy. And you don't have to do his exercise selection is what you feel. So you don't have to do his exercise.
Yeah.
Those just happen to be the exercise that if you want to do dumbbell rows or barbell rows, you could do that. Just
Yeah. I just meant like the
actually
tempo.
exactly. Yeah.
I think it's just the correct way. I think you can mix like styles, but I think that doing it Eric's way, so to say, is just again you got to initiate the pump, and if you're moving too fast, you're gonna flatten out and do a bunch of junk volume.
Yeah.
100%.
So the way I try to like make my clients understand it is you put yourself backstage. You're not gonna go backstage and do a fuck ton of reps. You're going to try to find the heavy.
See that?
Yeah, but it does nothing. So you're going to get on
Exactly.
the floor and you're going to do push-ups, but you're going to like flex the push-up. And that's
Yeah.
how you start getting the pump initiated and ignited, and then you pump them out. So I like to do a mixture of the two. But like today, I walked in the gym. I was like, I'm low key like not feeling this. So I just went straight to the back room and deadlifted off the hammer strength thing, just to like have fun, start like just warm up and use my glutes because I'm trying to like lean my glutes out a little bit. So picking something off the floor, and I had fun, and then I had a good workout after that.
That's what matters too, is enjoying your workout. You feel it, enjoy it.
Yeah,
they're the balance that I believe you do have to enjoy your workout to a point, but then you also have to train correctly to a point. And it's not an overnight process. It takes years. It takes years. You shouldn't have to go from 0 to 100. You shouldn't have to go from Branch Warren to Janicki within 1 week, right? It takes some time, and it's difficult to do. I'm like, I don't want to stop bench pressing. I want to flat bench, and I'm like, why? Because of my ego. Because I feel like it's like a hardcore. Like I get nothing from flat bench, so why am I doing it?
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to stop doing that. Yeah, same with leg extensions and leg press. I would never feel it. I wouldn't feel anything. I would just do it because I felt like I needed to. But with squats, I had to. If you're squatting 5-6 plates, you have to control the negative. You can't dive bomb that shit or you fucking die, right? So the reason I felt squats is because I was actually controlling it. So when I started controlling extensions and leg press and really getting the stretch, that's when I started feeling it. So I've really been training legs properly for like 2 years, if that, So it turns out I don't have shit legs. I just was training with emotion instead of training it with logic.
one way to, if you train alone, solo, I do. You can add bands, which is adding resistance, not reverse banding it. But you can add bands to, again, make you feel it, because it for sure will make you feel it on chest movements, on realistically anything you can band. Leg press, hack squat, leg extensions. You can rig it up and band it. I would suggest it for sure.
Well, speaking of Janicki, I'm pretty sure he had a band. Believe it or not, he had the band on the leg extension. I don't even know how he rigged it, but I'm pretty sure he had a band on the leg extension, and it felt even better because sometimes at that lockout, I have a hard time locking out because it kind of puts some pressure on my knees. But with the band, it feels different with the band. When you lock out with the band, you can't explode. So it's like you have to drive. You have to drive through your quads. You can't like explode with a band because it slows you down. So it's like, so it becomes more of this instead of boom, locking out. So then I couldn't hurt my knees because of the band. So it's, if you pay attention to some of these training styles, it makes sense. They're all weirdos who just want to sell a program, who just do stupid shit. But some people are actually
the wheel.
Exactly.
I see that every single day, dude. People trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, just ridiculous shit. But some of these people actually know what they're doing. And you don't get as big as Janicki by doing shit wrong, right?
No.
So the proof is kind of in the pudding. If you can build that physique, you did something right. And he did it faster than most of us.
He did put a lot of size on quickly.
When I met him, I was bigger than him, to the point he was asking me what I do for my legs. His legs are bigger than mine now, so it's working, it's definitely working, But back to Brett. You said you just started off season?
Yeah, literally like last night / today.
What changed so far? Food is up?
What happened last night? Yeah, cheat meal?
No.
The way you said it, right? I just started.
Well, when you hop on and you're like,
oh, Billy came through.
Yeah,
but Billy came through. Brett got big hands now. How did you get your hands so big, Brett? Some change?
It might be because I started growth last year. That was my first year. I did like half the year on growth, and now I'm going to try this whole year I just bumped up to 8 IUs, so we'll see how that works.
Very nice.
So, Alyssa, you know what the next question is going to be? Is it farm or generic?
Yeah, I was already thinking that.
You know what? It's funny. It is generic, but they
Attaboy.
for each batch they test each batch, and so I can literally like pull up the PDF of each batch.
There you go. If it's real, it's the same difference.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like a different grade of GH. It's either real or fake. I think some people have had bad experiences with generic because they just got fake shit. But that doesn't speak for the entire fucking, generic. It's just you happen to have fake shit. Too bad, Try some
Literally.
So some people have that bad. I've actually had fake GH before from China, and then I was scared. I was like, I'm never getting anything from China again. But that was just one instance. I've had good shit from China as well. You just paying $700-800 for GH is crazy. That's just crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No amount of gains is worth $800 a fucking month for a couple weeks.
I did it.
Oh yeah, I think more of us we did it at least once. So
I was prepping for the Olympia, and I said, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing it. I'm going all
All
in.
shit right there.
Just to show up and get fucking last call outs.
Hey, you made it this shit,
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I didn't notice any better results from farm at all. I got to be honest with that. Maybe less water retention sometimes, but some people say they get more water retention. I've heard people say that as well, depending on which one. I forget the one. You got Humatrope, right? You got Ceristim. I forget. I've heard
I've
people
used
say
Norditropin pens, and then I had a Genotropin cart, a couple Genotropin carts.
Yeah.
I prefer it, but I don't know. It is what it is.
The biggest guys I know personally all use generic, and the people using farm, I just you don't see the most impressive people necessarily using farm, So not that implies anything, but I feel it. I mean, I've always felt it. My hands get numb, the whole
Yeah.
So why change it exactly? You got the GH hand. Oh, I'm actually off right now, but I still have some.
I'm off I'm like off for a week now because I ran out of backwater, and I can't order it off of Amino Asylum or
Amazon.
I've tried Amazon.
Yeah, they got back. They call it like
Sterile water.
they call it. Yeah, they or they have one that's like sterile solution or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's backwater. It's backwater.
Well,
So,
I'm like timid to order because one time after a show I ordered some needles because I just needed some, and I ordered from Amazon this one time, and that is the only time I had issues. Like 3 shots in a row, it was like red and inflamed. And the only variable that changed was I had just Amazon needles. And as soon as I went back to my source from here, local, no problems. So
there's a place around here, at least near where I live, where you can like literally exchange your. I've never gone there, but from what I've told, you can exchange like your old ones, and then they'll give you like a whole new patch.
Yeah. Well, but they give it to you. It's in the pack, right? They didn't like clean it and give it.
I don't know. They just clean it right in front of you. They're like, "Here you go, give it back to you."
They do that because the drug addicts spread hepatitis and all type of
sense.
shit. So they'll give you some free needles if you bring the people used to bring the Sharps container full of needles, and then they would trade it in and they would give it. I'm just nervous. I'm like, is this like recycled needles or something? Like, where's this going from?
yeah, they're all dull.
But to Alyssa's point,
They're all dull.
To Alyssa's point, one of my clients said the same thing. He said he did his research and it said that from Amazon usually gets the needles like from China, and the way China makes needles, there's not a good what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have any what's the word I'm looking for?
Sterile
Standards. They don't have any standards for making needles.
standards.
So how they make needles or what they use to make the needles, it's not good for you long term. and some people can actually feel it like you did. So
Damn.
I've never had that issue. I'm sure it's horrible. I'm sure the needles I use are horrible grade needles. I hope I'm okay. That's all I can
Did you
say.
ever watch like True Life or like Real Life or whatever that is?
I did, yeah.
They had a bodybuilder on there one time, and his dad full on like took the needle and like had an alcohol pad and like wiped the whole needle down with the alcohol pad
Oh, before he used it.
before he used it.
That's a good parenting. At least he let him rock, but at least he made sure he's doing it right. You know, he made sure he's doing it right. You know, one of my clients was young and he was on cycle. When he came to me, he was on cycle, and his dad came. I was just training him in person, but his dad came in person. He wanted to talk to me about it, and I kind of respected that. He knows his son is going to do it anyways, so he's like, "Can you at least help him do it the right way?" I'm like, he's pretty young there, but shit, you're right. He's doing it anyway. So I think that's actually good parenting than turning a blind eye or tell him stop doing it. He's not gonna stop doing it. He's already, that's even when coaches said they won't take clients like younger than like 21 or something. I'm like, so what's the alternative? Let them do it themselves and fuck themselves up even worse. They're gonna do it.
True.
Like, they're not gonna stop doing it, right? You think they're gonna be like, oh, nobody's gonna help me. I'm gonna just wait until I'm 21. They're gonna just do it worse, and they're gonna look at these TikTokers or some shit and do fucked up shit. So I don't think that's making you a bad coach. I think, I mean, as long as you're not telling them they should do it, But if
Yeah.
you're telling them don't do that shit, that's stupid. Don't do it. Don't do Anna Jordan trend. Do just run some tests. I think that's actually being that's being responsible. Yeah. Okay. So, what's the plan, Brett? So from here on out, you're gonna do off season. How long? And then
I don't know, maybe till like April or May-ish. We'll see. And then we're going on vacation to the Virgin Islands in like end of May, beginning of June.
Good.
And then we get back, and I don't really know what the game plan is going to be after that. If it's like put on more size a little bit or fill back out since I'll be, out of the country.
Yeah.
But my plan is to do nationals in December.
Okay.
But Dom's trying to. Last I spoke about it with him, he was like, "I would like you to do North Americans." I'm like, "Well, I'd be like 11-ish weeks out once I get back." Like,
Yeah.
is that possible for me? Sure, but like at the same time, I don't know. We'll see how I look.
Also, nationals just got a better ring to it. I just like the nationals sound better.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about North Americans. I don't like the North Americans. They don't sound good to me. Same difference, right? But
Yeah.
USA sounds good. National sounds good. North Americans, I'm like, I don't like the sound of it. They've had.
I felt like how the show was ran. I don't want to say it was bad, but just like the venue it's in, there's a lot going on. You're like pumping up in one room, then you have to stand in a line in a whole different hallway room. And then they're like, okay, now you can go backstage and line up. And you're like, I just was like, geez. Whereas like at the USA's, everything was backstage. We're backstage. We're pumping up backstage. We're getting in line backstage,
A lot simpler. National seemed like it was run really well as well. So nationals, I've never done nationals. I've always kind of wanted to do it, but I just try to avoid traveling. But now I'm looking forward to traveling. I actually Texas. Why not? Why not take a trip to Texas, right?
Absolutely.
That's even better, And Alyssa, you're prepping for the Texas.
Texas, definitely. But I got some other things on my mind. I just need to figure some things out first before I commit. Because I don't want to commit and back out.
Yeah,
Once I commit, I'm doing it. But yeah, just sorting some things out. But I did today just get my IFBB membership.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, you gotta make sure you keep that up to date. You don't want to have to go back to North Americans. All right. Let's see if we got anything going on in the industry.
Hey, did you see about that? Like, where they're like, hey, we're gonna, if you don't renew it every so often, you're not pro anymore.
Yeah, I did. But because of every 3 years, I feel like
I feel
nobody
like
takes
that's
3 years
okay.
off. Yeah, nobody's taking 3 years off, really.
Yeah. And like,
And
no
if you,
one, if you do the math, every 3 years that you're paying for the card is like $7 a month. That's if you take, 3 years off from paying for it. By the way,
yeah,
Ken is looking nuts.
yeah, he looks crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, it
he
looks
looks crazy.
insane right there.
Yeah, he's full, and he's
Look at
getting
his
leaner.
story.
Actually, let me see. There we go. View as body fall. No, view as Apex Brett. Like who else are you gonna view as? Yeah, he looks crazy.
And then that, I think, yeah, right
Oh
there.
yeah, there it goes. Yeah. Yeah, he looks insane. He's picking up some traction, but people are noticing it as well. Because when it comes to potential, I feel like until you see it, people almost don't want to give too much credit until you see it. And I think we're starting to see it take form. I think it's going to be something special, for sure.
Yeah,
Something special.
I think it's going to do great.
Me too. I'm trying that for action. All right. Yeah, he was in shape. These supers are in shape now. If no more of this, I feel like when I started competing, the supers would just be like heavyweights who are not in shape. That was basically what the supers were. Now these motherfuckers are shredded now. Let's see what we got. See if we got some action.
How many weeks out to the Arnold? 4?
For this weekend, right?
I
For
think
this
so.
weekend. Is anybody going? Any of y'all going?
I'm not traveling anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to save
I wish I was going. You're not going, Beatty?
No, I'm trying to save money, man. I spent a lot of money last year. I'm gonna have to. I feel like I could use a new stream of income. Gotta get back in the game. Get back in the front game.
Okay,
No,
dude.
this shit is it's hard out here, man. And I'm like, my parents were right, but I should have went to nursing school. I should have got a damn degree somewhere. All right. Oh, Regan wasn't holding back. Hey, what's up, Stu?
No.
Why you look like Bruce Lee today, Stu? You like young Bruce Lee.
Racist.
You got it's the haircut. But yeah, Regan was going in on this interview. He must have hopped on some trend or something. He wasn't holding back for this one. I've never heard him that vocal before.
Is that the one with the Fuad on Fuad's podcast?
Yeah. Listen, in theory, he has everything he needs. It's just that it's what you bring to the stage is the hard part. But if you look at his physique, I mean, he has all the tools he needs to beat a lot of people. It's just will you see it or not is the hard part.
I don't think it's cocky. I think it's okay to be confident about how you feel about what you're gonna bring.
I would hope so, because if you're not, then who is? There's not a huge degree of separation between these guys. Even if Samson would have sat here last year and said, I'm gonna beat Hardy and Derek, people kind of be like, you could, but you probably won't. And then now it's like nobody could beat Samson. Motherfucker, it's only been like 7 months, and it went from like, he can't beat these guys to nobody could beat him. So it's a small degree of separation. All you have to do is do it once. Like if like Martin, let's say last year, Martin's like, I'm gonna beat Nick. No way, bro. Sit down. Now it's like everybody thinks Martin's gonna beat Nick now, right? It's like within a few months, all of a sudden the narrative shifts, but it's the same bodybuilders, and they're all improving. But once you beat somebody doesn't mean that they'll never beat you again. That's not how it works. Anybody could beat anybody. I think so. I think we just assume that, well, this guy could never beat Nick, or this guy could never beat Martin. Anybody can beat anybody. I don't think nobody's untouchable. Like who, right? We're all people. Nobody's that special, you know. Even Samson, Derek could beat Samson again. He just beat him last year. It's not. I mean, the year before that. So
There was a video of Derek posing. Did you see it?
let me see. Let me see if I pull it up. It's on. Yeah, he looked pretty good. I think I saw that one actually.
Who's he working with?
Derek,
Aceto.
Aceto. I think Aceto is good for him. He does well.
Yeah.
He does well with round guys who hold a bit of water and get pretty big.
That one right there.
This one, yeah. And he looks round. His legs look huge, like in prep.
How long ago was this? 4.5 weeks. Okay,
Probably a day ago, probably. Yeah, there you go.
4.5 weeks out. Oh, a day ago.
While he's in prep and off season, his legs look like some of the best legs in the game. So it's there.
But Aceto's giving him cookies and stuff. So I think like he's just, you're coming down, but kind of like similar to how I do it. You just throw in some meals just to keep you fuller, so you don't shrink.
Some people need that. Yeah, some people need that. Yeah,
and that's and look, Derek. I don't know if you saw, but I was watching one of Derek's videos, and he was saying how Aceto gave him cookies. I don't know if it was one or two, and Derek was like, I don't know if he was being serious or he was joking, but he was basically like, what type of cookie? Where do I get it from? How many chocolate chips should it have in it? Like, should I get a... He's trying to figure out. He was getting mental with it.
That's important, especially if you're gonna be like harsher on the diuretics at the end. You have to stay fuller as well. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things. Especially, it seems like they did hit some diuretics at the end because he flattened out toward the end. And I know Aceto doesn't hold back with the diuretics, so he's better off staying like this. 4.5 weeks out, I think he's usually a lot harder than this 4.5 weeks out. But I think this is
sunlight hitting him directly, and he's a pasty white guy. So
yeah, good point.
Helping him.
But like,
no, for sure. But I think you could see it in his rear double.
He still has time.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, especially with Chris, I think you're better off being fuller going to the show with Chris. It usually has the best result. I remember Sean Roden would look 6 weeks out to like a week and a half out, and then boom, he'll pull him in. Same with remember Luke Sandow. Luke Sandow would look, huh?
Started hitting that aldactone 10 days before.
Yeah, that's literally the protocol. It would be like you start with like half of aldactone, a quarter of aldactone AM PM for like the first 3-4 days. Then you go to like half aldactone AM PM, and then you do that for 10 days, and then you do the diazide, the quarter, and I'm sure it varies for everybody, but that's kind of like the general with them. Now, if Stu tried that shit, Stu is gonna be a middleweight if he tries some shit like that.
I don't know, man. I've never tried it. I kind of want to try it, but I don't want to hurt myself,
But it's weird because you also have to eat. You have to fill out harder, right? So if you're doing that, the carb up has to be a little bit more. Because Chad does that too, So, but the carb up has to be a little bit more intense. Chad does the carb up with the insulin. That's a lot of moving parts. If you're pulling down the water and then you're hitting insulin with it, that could be a fucking mess. If you're not really good at that shit, that could be a mess, bro. Just
yeah, I feel like it's just not necessary if you're lean,
No, I mean, if you get it perfectly, you're gonna look so much better. But how often are you gonna get it perfectly? Not that often. So you either knock it, like we said, either like let's say blue would be okay with you being more like 90-95%, whereas somebody like I feel like Chad or Aceto. Well, no. Aceto, he tries to. It's still moving parts though. But let's say if you try to go from 90 to 100, that's risky because you could drop all the way back down. So I think if you want to consistently have better athletes, you should stay around 90. But hey, how do you know your limits if you don't try to do some crazy shit? You know, you gonna do some crazy shit, Stu, this year, or you gonna keep it
No,
kosher?
boring old, same old shit.
Just bigger. You're gonna come in bigger. You're gonna be bigger. All right. Let's see who else we got. Lee Priest never said he's coming back, right? He just posted a pro card.
He's trolling, dude.
For sure, trolling. I don't even think it's a real pro card. I think it's like what do you call it? It was
Photoshop.
yeah, I think it was forced. I think he just wanted to see what people are gonna say. But I don't. Why would he? It doesn't. I don't think that's a real thing. Okay. I don't think we got much news. We could just do some questions. Let me see.
Did y'all talk about? I don't know if y'all did or not, but did you talk about the Patrick Moore thing?
Not much. Not much. But I feel like more.
What we talk about?
I feel like more stuff came out because I watched I watched RX Muscle, and at first it was just Dave Armand and Chris, and they were kind of just talking about Patrick, but then Chris was like, "Hey, let's hear both sides," and then Patrick came on, and they got more interesting because you get to hear, there's three sides to the story, right? So we only, and it's an interesting debate. I think they both did some things wrong, and they both did some things right.
What happened with Patrick?
Oh, you didn't see there was like a fight in the parking lot, him and the gym owner.
What?
Oh, you didn't see it? Oh shit! I thought
Just to
everybody.
summarize it, it sounds like he was backed up on payments for rent, being a trainer at a gym. The gym owner asked for his money. Patrick said, kind of like, "I got you," but didn't send it. And then the gym owner shut his key off, so he couldn't get into the gym, and he had to do fasted cardio, and then text messages back and forth. Then they were outside in the video of them
Oh, they
scuffling.
got they they
I
got
don't
down.
know. To each their own, but at the end of the day, like I just feel like some people appear on social media as if they're like balling, and you can't pay $300 for your gym rent. Like I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like I'm not rich or nothing, but I make sure things like that are taken care of so I can do my business. But
Okay.
but then I heard Dave talking about like they went on and on about should IFBB pros, and this is not as far as trainers paying rent, but should IFBB pros be allowed to train at gyms for free? There's a question.
Well, but my thing is that's not up to you to decide though. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's for the gym owner to decide. If I own a gym, I'll let pros train for free, but that's my choice. Like I
No. Do you
can't.
understand what she said?
What's that?
You understand what she said?
She said, "Should I be pros train at gym for free?"
No, she means a lot of professional bodybuilders are personal trainers. They have to pay gym rent.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
not like you working out,
not a
you training.
membership. Gym
Yeah,
rent is
yeah.
a trainer bit.
Yeah, that's two different. Yeah, that's two different topics. Whatever the gym owner decides is what you have to do. Like you don't get to choose, right? You don't get to say, "Hey, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm a pro, so it doesn't work that way." So, I would say technically, the gym owner was in the right because he's the gym owner. I think he overreacted from what it seems like. I think it didn't have to go there. It didn't have to go there. But if he wants to block his
Idea was it to go fisticuffs in the parking lot?
huh?
Whose idea was it to go fight each other in the parking lot?
Well, the gym owner, the one that initiated that part of it, the actual fight part.
According to
Uh, I mean, according to the footage, as far as Patrick was coming out his car and he already put his hands up. Like Patrick was the one that put his hands up, and he didn't throw the first punch. So,
Well,
according to the footage,
Patrick said even where he parked there purposefully because he knew the cameras were right on it.
yeah.
So it's just, what's it called? Like setup? I don't know. Like it just sounds like.
Well, he was also telling people that he's gonna beat him up. So he initiated the physical part, which is overreacting. But for him to like lock his membership, that's his right. He could do that if it's my gym. I could do what the fuck I want. So if I feel like you can't come back in the gym, I can do that. But the fight, I don't think grown men should be fighting under a disagreement. I don't think that's case in point. But you know, if somebody hits you, you're gonna have to defend yourself. You know, so I think that's what the gym owner did wrong. That's the part he did wrong. And then Patrick did a couple things wrong, you know, as far as not paying, whether or not, you know, he wanted to wait until the client paid him. That's not really your problem at the gym owner. When you need your payment, you need your payment, right? So I think they both did some wrong, but the cops shouldn't have been involved at all, you know.
Well,
Hey, but
apparently on the video surveillance it had audio, and I didn't hear this. I'm just repeating what I've seen on podcasts recently, but Patrick, because the dude went inside and locked Patrick out after the scuffle, and then Patrick was telling the cops. But the dude that owns the gym called the cops, but then Patrick was telling the cops that he was in there selling steroids. It's just drama.
That's a good debate, though, because you know, I think most of us will agree that you shouldn't be telling the cops that a bodybuilding sells steroids because that's kind of part of bodybuilding. But what happens if the guy is the one that called the cops on you and was willing to have you go to jail? Do you owe him any code at that point, or does that go out the window? That's you know,
narc,
huh?
don't narc, full stop, period, ever.
Yeah,
But
because it's just karma. Karma's gonna come around and get your ass some way or another, and don't do hands. Let it be. Like let it just go after that.
Let it go. If Stu called the cops on me,
Wouldn't.
and he's willing to have me go to jail, do I owe Stu anything?
I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm still not going to say it. That's just my personal choice. I'm not going to say he's selling drugs. That's what I choose to do.
That's pretty low.
But the truth is that you put both of us in a situation because there would be no cops if we just fought and we just went home. That would have been fine. So you kind of fucked yourself over too. So I don't think Patrick owes him anything. But you don't talk about the steroids, man. Come on, bro. Even the cops are on steroids. Everybody's on steroids. So it's like, at that point.
I'm kind of curious if, like, why he stuck around for the cops to even show up, because they never really show up right away. So he kind of like, he must have sat there. I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't know anything. I'm just like questioning this from zero knowledge, but.
Good point. Yeah, because he said the gym owner ran back inside and closed the door, and then he was outside talking to this other guy outside. At that point, yeah, at that point, you could have just left. If I get into a fight and I knock somebody out,
I'm out.
I'm leaving. I don't stay around. I don't stay around. I'm out of there. You know, if I'm at an expo, I get into a scuffle and I drop somebody. Goodbye, expo. You're not seeing me there for the weekend. Like even as a bouncer, technically I have some leeway. But if when I would drop somebody, if I felt like they were hurt, I'm out of there. You're not seeing me. You're not seeing me resting. I'll be, hey, Red, I'm out of here. And then pay me for the time I did. And because the last thing I wanted people, hey, who got into the scuffle? I don't want to answer no questions, but I'm out of there. So that's me. That whole thing is that whole situation is just. I think it was just overreaction, maybe on both sides. It never had to get there, 100%. So.
When did Patrick compete last? Was it the Legion last year?
I think. Can you up your mic a little bit?
Yeah.
Did it go?
I think
or maybe just bring it a little closer. I think it was. He did like a show in like Spain or somewhere in Europe, and then he did Legion.
Oh, he did the UK show.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, and then he did Legion after that.
I think it was his best condition since Aceto, but still not as good as Aceto
Let's
condition.
blow it up.
Let's see. Yeah, because his best looks have by far been with Aceto. To be honest, I think he worked with Cardone last year, and then before that,
How many coaches has he had?
So he did. The second show he did not.
oh, okay, he did his own thing. Yeah.
He's blocked me. I don't know.
He
Okay.
blocked you? Why did he block you?
No comment.
Yeah, let's not get too deep in it.
No comment. I have to cut that one.
Yeah, but bodybuilders could be on a sensitive side.
Wait, you said he was conditioned at the Legion?
Let's see it.
wait. His best condition since Aceto. I didn't say he was in condition.
Who's
You
coaching
want
him?
me to- I'll send you the link.
All right, send it to my Instagram.
All right. You asked for it.
Who's coached him for the pictures you're about to show?
Himself, I believe.
Oh shit!
Send it to the group chat.
You know
How many-
Huh?
How many coaches has Patrick had? Because didn't he work with he was working with someone that Hunter was with, right? And then he went to Aceto.
Brian Coinello. Yeah.
Hunter.
And then he went with, and then he said he worked with Dom.
Yeah, Dom Cardone, not Matasio.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Come on, baby, click on the link.
Let's see,
Technology.
okay.
Go ahead
Yeah.
and skip forward to the second page. Yeah, the back poses. There you go.
Yeah, just hit that back.
Right there.
Let's see. Oh, what do you guys see right now?
Click on.
Any of them.
You click on it.
To the bottom right.
Wait, let me make sure I'm on. Okay, boom, got you. Boom, you see it?
Nice.
Yeah, well,
I'm about
Well-
looking like that right now.
what? Come on, man. Well, yeah, well, his back could be a bit harder. His back could be a bit harder.
He coached himself for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
But
look
traveling fucks you up, man. If you just came from the UK, I'm not saying it made the world of the difference, but
This was Legion. Oh, he came from UK. I
It
think.
looks a little better in the Europa, the UK show.
Yeah.
A
You
little.
know, we
And
spoke. Huh?
sorry. Go ahead.
We spoke about this before, but when it comes to like people get caught up in size versus condition, right? Size only matters if you add tissue in the same condition. But like people come in heavier and softer, and they end up just looking smaller. You don't. This is not right. It's a muscle contest, but it's not a weight contest. So when he plays top,
that, man, I can't honestly think of a time where I've ever done that, like on purpose, like purposely been less conditioned for the sake of being fuller.
Yeah.
Like that never like.
Did you do it
makes
for?
sense.
I just watched a guest posing of yours on Branch Warrens. I don't know if you were prepping for a show, but
What?
I'm
Guess
sorry,
what?
this is totally random, but because I was thinking you said you never purposefully like filled up to get huge, but I was thinking about a guest posing, and then I had just recently saw your guest posing on Branch Warren's Instagram. But have you ever filled up purposefully for a guest posing?
But yeah, I usually like try to peak for a guest posing.
Mhm.
I wouldn't,
Peak, like okay, I got you.
like get dry as well.
yeah,
Not like a full on peak, but like restrict my water a bit and eat up.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's not as calculated, but
Right.
But
I'm usually pretty close to like stage condition by the time I'm peaking for a guest posing. at like a few weeks out. So
But like you can't plan a weight. You can't be like, last year I was 250. This year I'm looking to be 260, and then just diet down to 260 and stop. And it's like you can't just stop because you think you added 10 pounds of muscle, right? You just got to get shredded. And even if you're, just the same weight, you might look bigger if you actually add the tissue. So it's just a bad trade off.
I question why some people still go and compete when they aren't as conditioned as they could be or have been.
You mean like don't do the show?
Yeah.
If you're really far off, no. But if you're kind of close, I don't know. I guess it depends because that's compared to how he looked with a Aceto, that's pretty far off. But I think once you're in that, especially he prepped himself. Once your brain is gone and you're that lean, well, not that he was that lean. Once your brain is gone at that point of prep, I don't think you know what you're looking at that point. That's why coaches are good. You have no idea what you're looking at. You don't know. So it's even more strange when you are working with a coach. But when it comes to some of these pros, you don't even know how closely they work with coaches.
Yeah.
They'll say, I'm with this coach. And then after they leave him, they're like, no, he did that show himself. Or I'm like, damn, well, so, it's like you don't even know what people, like half of Milos's clients,
to, baby.
90% of Milos's clients, they're like, no, it's like, because it's like a strange concept. Everybody's with somebody. And then next thing you know, the truth comes out that nobody is like, which one? So you got to take it with a grain of salt. People say, I'm with this person. This coach says I'm with this person. And they're just, sometimes they're double dipping. Some clients, like, they say what they're with this coach, but they're listening to this coach and they're listening to that coach. So you really can't, you don't even know what's going on half the time. So
maybe I should just announce that I'm working with Milos just for the buzz,
It'll get you some buzz for sure. It'll get some shit chirping. Yeah, but well, shout out Patrick. Hopefully he does well at the Arnold. It's a pretty stacked lineup.
I was doing the Arnold, I forgot.
Yeah. So you don't really want to be fighting 5 weeks from Arnold, but you gotta handle your business. You gotta do what you gotta do. Hey, Texas.
Man, that fight, his cortisol probably shot through the roof.
It's true. Well, Texas isn't that like open carry? I just showed up with a gun and be like, "Are you still gonna fight, man?"
Is he in Texas?
I think so.
He's in
Yeah.
Houston.
Do people fight in Texas? I wouldn't fight in Texas. I always just have my gun. I'm like, hey, what you want to do,
dude? You don't start shit, especially here.
No, I don't think anybody has any to fight. Now, it's crazy that actually happened. All right. Let me see what else I got. Let me see. All right, let's do some questions. Y'all can't see my screen, right?
No, not right now.
All right, good. All right. Y'all ready to do some questions? No?
I'm ready.
Yeah, start with
left.
start with the drug one. Let's get
Start with the
going
third one. Hey, random, but is Logan Paul fighting Jake Paul? Is this a real thing? You guys know about that?
I didn't even hear about that. I heard one of them is going to do WWE and the other wants to manage him.
Well, Logan's in
Yeah.
WWE and he's doing the Royal Rumble this weekend, so I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a while, but Logan can't box, man.
He can wrestle. He's actually
wrestle.
legit.
He's very
he's
athletic.
legit.
Yeah, he's very athletic. Yeah. But he boxed Mayweather, and he's a lot way bigger than him, so he was able to like push him around. I guess I couldn't even call those punches. He was kind of manhandling him, but he wasn't really boxing him. Probably could beat him in a fight, just not a boxing match. Mayweather, he's a tiny human being. I mean, Logan could probably beat him up in a street fight. Just if it comes to throwing hands, nobody is gonna win a boxing match with the guy. Okay, let's do some questions. Indicate spilling over. How can you know if you spilled over?
You look down.
I was, I was gonna make a joke, but I'm trying to do better at that now. You should be able to tell. You should be able to tell.
There's a pretty significant difference.
If if you look good, if you look good at one point and then on stage you look softer, you probably spilled over. Probably spilled over. Let's say that. But I think a lot of times people use these terms, but they just weren't in shape, right? Like I was flat or I was spilled over, and you kind of like, nah, you just weren't. You just weren't in shape.
And I think you have to have a significant amount of muscle to feel flat, full, dry, all those terms. Because when I was smaller, when I had less muscle, I wasn't really anything of those. I was just lean.
Right.
I just got lean, and I don't know.
You guys have you guys had any clients who every single check-in they send, they have a million excuses?
Yeah.
Like, oh, bad lighting, I train legs and I'm flat and I look better than this, but I don't. And I'm like, okay, take it easy.
I was working.
A long night.
I
got the flu.
had a late night at work, so I ate this.
I got the chicken pox. Hey, go to bed. I had chicken pox. I had measles. Hold up. I mute my mic. I didn't want you to hear me cursing at my dog. People get mad at that, at my tone. Yeah, so that's always annoying. Okay. Lee Priest versus Keon.
Yeah.
This comes from a video. Yeah. You know what it is? The nostalgia is hard to. Anytime you compare 90s to current, the nostalgia goes crazy. And Lee Priest is a fucking freak, and we all look up to that physique. But if we're going by at least today's criteria and what bodybuilding is, yeah, I mean that's the easy call. Just
Keon wins in literally every category. It's not even close.
Lee Priest too?
Huh? Against Keon Pearson.
I think Keon would win. Have you seen Lee Priest's glutes?
Yeah.
The only knock they had on Keon for the longest time was like he wasn't quite hard enough, and he's significantly harder now than like Lee Priest ever was in his whole career. So.
The hardest Lee Priest was actually at the Universe when he was older, but at that point his physique didn't have the same pop and 3D-ness, but he was definitely harder than he was before. He had that's the most lines he's had in his back poses, but by that time, if he could have bought that condition early on, I think he would have probably got some better placings. But even then, I don't think that'd be because Keon is.
Have you heard his excuse about why he doesn't get that condition?
The same excuse they all have.
It's like, oh, why are you looking at my ass? Gay or something?
That's gay. Exactly. That's
the same. He said that?
You are a bodybuilder.
Most of the guys from that era say that. Like I didn't care. I wasn't trying to be that hard. Okay, sure.
So you're trying to lose.
You were purposely coming in softer. Like what are we talking about here? That just doesn't even make sense.
And that is spilled. For the viewers, that is spilled.
That's fat and spilled.
I think Lee had the metabolism to get in shape though, because he was so much fatter off season. I don't know. I just think he didn't go down deep enough. I don't know why. Who knows? I do believe that Lee Priest didn't care about placings that much. Just from watching him back then, he seemed to be kind of like. I don't think he felt that and he's probably right. I don't think he felt that he could beat Ronnie and Kevin Flex, and he probably wouldn't. Even if he was peeled, he probably wouldn't have. So, I mean, it is what it is. All right, let's see. would you? No. Who's the strongest bodybuilder of all time?
Ronnie Coleman.
It's hard to. You gotta. I guess you gotta be specific. Like, is it powerlifting terms? Squat, bench, deadlift. Is it every lift combined? Right. Like Ronnie would be more of like all the lifts combined, from rows to pull downs to curls. But squat,
You know who's
bench,
pretty
deadlift.
strong? That dude Kyle, is his last
Kyle
name
Curvy?
Kirby? Yeah.
I mean, if we're being technical, he would actually be the strongest. But I think when people say this, they kind of like go by like who's the right, like the highest ranking, right? Kind of, because
Okay.
you have, because you guys, you would say Stan Efferding and Kyle Curvey, but they technically have done more powerlifting shows than they have bodybuilding. So then it makes you feel like, well, they're actually powerlifters, even though they're pros.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
Ronnie Coleman was a powerlifter.
Yes, but he did it he did it before he got to that level, I guess. And
Yeah.
What
he
are they
did.
better known for?
Yeah, he also done what, I don't know, 4 or 5 meets, and then he's done maybe 20, 30 shows in bodybuilding. So
Yeah, he
then,
was in like the high school and college powerlifting team.
yeah. But if you answer the question, just they didn't even say pro bodybuilder. So then that
Oh.
opens it up. That opens it up for Larry did a bodybuilding show. But if we say pro bodybuilders, if we're just going by numbers, you would have to go Stan Efferding and Kyle Curvey, because they have world records in powerlifting. You know,
Who was
but,
the first one?
Stan Efferding. He's one of the best powerlifters of all time, so that would automatically put him. You know, but by our terms, like bodybuilder first before powerlifter, then you would go right Ronnie, Dallas, James, Ian, maybe
Tim Williams.
Akeem Williams. Yeah, Akeem actually beat
For
Larry
sure.
at pro. You know, Akeem beat Larry at pros versus Joe's bros.
Oh,
Bros
those
versus
versus
pros. Yeah, and Akeem was like 2 weeks out, and he deadlifted like this is before Larry was a fully grown man, but he out deadlifted him. He deadlifted like eight plates, like 8 1/4 or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, that's insane. Akeem was crazy strong. You know? All right. Is anybody else strong? Johnny. People talk about Johnny Jackson, but he really had a strong deadlift. His pressing. Branch was pressing more weight than him in their workouts.
Justin
Squat.
Wyatt's pretty strong.
Justin White, is he?
Or Abbott. Is the last name Abbott or Wyatt? I don't know. Sorry.
Is Abbott?
Yeah. He's strong. Like everything is like
He's
just
strong out there. You're right. But he's also doing a lot of reps. He's doing like 10, 12 reps with that weight.
yeah.
But even when he was actually stronger when he was smaller. Same as Barrow. Because I remember seeing Barrow, a smaller Barrow, pressing 200-pound dumbbells easy. No,
Eric
he
deadlifted 800.
He did, yeah. Yeah. Like in our age group, Barrow is the strongest. He purposely chooses not to train like that anymore, but I'm sure he could if he wanted to. I'm sure he could still. Yeah, he could. He could bench 5 plates, no problem. 200-pound dumbbells, no problem. Deadlift 800 pounds, no problem. Yeah, for sure. I can see that. Wyatt used to squat some. He used to lift even heavier. Now he's doing like higher reps and shit, but he's still pretty strong. Joe has some ridiculous pressing strength, but he's not pressed to be stronger, so he didn't. I don't think he ever cared about that. He just was built to bench, so he could press a lot of weight. I've seen him shoulder. I've seen Joe do, I think 5 1/4 on incline before. Incline Smith. How did that light go down? What the fuck?
Joe is huge right now.
Yeah. He's pretty fucking big. Okay, let's do a couple more. How much protein is too much?
There is no too much. No, for
As
real.
long as you can digest it.
They did a study where all the studies that are done with 25 to 30 grams of protein a meal are all on people that don't work out, and that was in like the 90s. And then there's studies that are done with people that actually work out that have upwards to 100 grams of protein in one sitting, and they're able to absorb it. And they're like, you know what, we're not going to push it past this 100 grams of protein per sitting. So but you could go up to 100 grams of protein, and I'm sure like with us being enhanced, we can easily do that.
I actually did that like in my 20s because I want to be like Ronnie Coleman. So I was having like 600 grams of protein a day.
You're just as big as them.
No, I was having 100 grams of protein per meal, and I mean,
how many ounces is that?
I would do 16 ounces of protein cooked, so that would put me at, I think, technically like 90 something, right? I don't know.
How heavy did you get?
I'm always 300 pounds, just all whether I eat more or less or the same or more drugs, but I'm always 300 pounds. It just looks different. But at that time, it looked shitty because I was young and I didn't deserve to be 300 pounds yet. I didn't earn it. I forced I forced it, you know. Now it looks more comfortable. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a limit. Stu eats quite a bit of protein. Or at least
I've been a little lower this off season just because my stomach was having a bit of trouble with it, and also it is a chore to get down. It's disgusting, really difficult, yeah. And I was kind of sick of that. But yeah, I mean, usually I'm like 450 grams a day. I think I was probably
like now.
No, usually.
Okay.
Right now I'm probably closer to like just under 400. They're not like a lot lower, but I think that's plenty.
Do you notice a difference other than digestion?
Yeah, I don't really think so. At least this year, when I dropped my portion sizes down from like 300 grams a meal down to like 250, it was a pretty negligible difference.
But did you feel like you needed that to initially put on the size you did?
Perhaps.
Okay.
I don't have anything to compare it to because I was eating very high protein when I was in that time frame. So.
Well, that's the thing about bodybuilding. How do you really fucking know? It's hard to really fucking know. Compton at one point pushed my protein up to like 450 a day, and it was just expensive and really hard to get down. And I couldn't tell if I was better or not. I think I looked a little bit harder, maybe just more protein, a little bit less fats, and right. I think maybe a little bit less fats and carbs, maybe. Maybe I looked a little harder. I don't know. It's hard to say. I was definitely more bloated. I wasn't digesting the food as well. So I don't know. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody. I don't think I need that much protein personally. But if it works, I guess keep doing it. You know. How about Alyssa? How's your protein looking?
I noticed the more protein, the harder my physique got. So again, being here in Texas, the whole taco thing, it's just beef wrapped in a tortilla, basically. So it's just a quick, easy source of protein, but you can get them anywhere. So I'll just summarize it and just say I eat a lot of tacos, but the more meat I eat, the harder and more dense my physique looks. So, but right now my protein portions are 4 ounces. So
yeah.
It's very small for me.
Let's say eating 600 grams of protein a day made you 5% better. Are you willing to spend the money and feel like shit to be 5% better?
I'm just gonna figure out a way to get in protein where I can digest it and get that 5% because I have nothing else to do.
I think the time frame that you can like continue to do that, like that much protein, is pretty like limited because I mean you're eventually going to cause gut problems if you're doing that, unless you just have a completely, invincible stomach. Uh,
Yeah.
I think you're gonna run into issues eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think in the past I could probably digest more protein better than I can now. But because I've been hammering my stomach for years now with a lot of food of all kinds, um, it kind of, you have to be a little more careful. What you can kind of do, I think, is, I kind of agree with like increasing your protein can help harden your physique and make it a little bit denser. What you can kind of do is like when you transition from an off season into a prep, you can like bring your carbs and fats down and bump up your protein a bit when you kind of need it more to maintain your muscle tissue
Sure. I
more
agree with that.
in a deficit, and you kind of get some of that effect. Like it's almost like a recomping effect. And yeah, there's a lot of confounding variables there because like you're making those diet changes at the same time you're throwing a bunch of drugs and there's
Sure.
multiple things moving. But I think that because your digestive tract is so much less stressed when you're dieting, you can get away with higher protein. I think it's better used in that environment.
I agree with that. I might agree. I would much rather, like, let's say start a prep 20 weeks out or 16 weeks out. You get rid of your cheat meals. You maybe take away like a beef meal or two, and then you up your protein. Maybe, I don't know, a couple of ounces a meal. You're adding in new drugs. Maybe you up your GH. I think that's enough to recomp you. Maybe you might lose a couple of pounds if that, but you'll look much harder just from doing that alone. So I think that's a good way to look at it. I think I think you could be a I think you or let me speak for myself. I think I would be a better bodybuilder if I was willing to make more sacrifices, right? I'm willing to suffer and I'm willing to make some sacrifices. But my general first of all, health to some point, but even I don't want to. I'm willing to get uncomfortable, but I'm not willing to completely trade my quality of life to be a better bodybuilder. Unfortunately, like if a coach told me we're gonna do 600 grams of protein, I might be like, no, maybe 500, but not 600. Yeah, I still have to. I still have to enjoy being a human being to some extent. Like I don't know. Like some people are willing. If you're in your early 20s, maybe, and you just get into the sport and you're excited, maybe you're willing to trade anything. But I'm not willing to trade relationships, time with loved ones to some extent, and shit like that. To have a better physique per se. There's some things that are non-negotiables for me, but I think you would be a better bodybuilder if you're willing to trade just anything. But would you have a better life? No, you wouldn't have a better life. You would probably get to a point where you would have some regrets. Maybe I don't know.
No
So
regrets.
yeah, we don't want. You should do what you're comfortable, what you're able to live with. So whether it's trading your health, trading your time with loved ones, you have to. At the end of the day, you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror when it's all said and done, and not be like, I fucked up or I did the. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's important to me. So I got to be able to look myself in the mirror and be okay with the choices I made. And some sacrifices are too big for me for anything, for whether for money or for career or even for
Yep.
passion. Bodybuilding, it's a passion to me. It's not my career, but even if it was my career, I would still have some non-negotiables. But that's just me.
I'm gonna head
All
out.
right, Brett. You already know, Brett.
Bye, guys.
I catch you. You know. Do you have non-negotiables, Alyssa? Some things you're not willing to trade for any reason.
Um,
Your camera went out, by the way, Stu.
I'm here. Just taking a piss.
I don't. I don't know what you. I don't know what to say. Like,
Like, what's up, Carlos? First of all,
What's good? What's
what do you
good?
mean?
Well,
what's up, brother?
What's up, fellas?
Like
I
after
mean,
like here, one thing I is a sacrifice. I don't know. I'm sorry.
okay, so let's say some bodybuilders are willing to ruin relationships with partners, family members, their own kids, in order to progress in their career.
I won't ruin. No, no, no. I think the
Okay.
people in my life that support me and what, because I've been doing this since I was 17, 18. I mean,
Yeah.
high school. So my parents at first, even they didn't really understand it, and they were like, "You need to get a real job. You need to do da." But once I won the New York Pro, that was the first show my dad was at. He finally realized, like, okay. And
Doing
then
something.
I've been doing the Texas thing, and they're like, "Oh, okay, it's for real. It's like a legit career." So not many women, I don't think, are taking it as serious as I am because I'm one egg, one basket. I wake up from the time I open my eyes till I close my eyes, it is bodybuilding. And if you slow me down, I guess the non-negotiable is you're just out of my life, like point blank, period. Because if you're not trying to help me be the best or mentally be an asset to me, it's out of here.
Can't
I don't have
happen.
time for it.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. What's up, Los?
What's good? What's good? How y'all doing?
Chilling, bro. Chilling, bro. How you doing, man? We
Solid. Just got back from the gym.
fire. I think we spoke to you last like a couple weeks ago, three weeks ago, maybe.
Probably so. I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah. So
We need to talk about-
now you get into crunch time. You definitely you look like you tightened up quite a bit, quite a bit. How you feeling mentally and physically as far as
Good.
being
Good.
this close?
Yeah, it was good. We just made some more changes today. I mean, pulled food down, a lot more, but that's what's needed. You know, I mean, you know how it is, bro. It's kind of it's just the necessary, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. Digestion is still good, huh?
yeah, I haven't had any issues with that. This is
Okay.
no problems with that, so it's been great. Yeah, everything's been wonderful as far as like my training performance has held up. We're pushing the cardio around 90 minutes right now, and food's pretty low right now, 100 grams of carbs now for training days, and a little bit lower on rest days. So we've gotten to the point where we're just going to start pushing a little bit harder now that we know like my gut and everything can take the stresses of prep. So it's been going well though.
Fine. Let me see.
how would you say that
I
this
see this
prep
question.
has been different from ones in the past for you?
It's just been pretty like steady as far as like the changes that we haven't really done anything drastic, and I think I've kind of grown into this prep because my weight hasn't dropped too much, but we've continued to get tighter and tighter, so it's been pretty interesting. And we haven't really had to push that much, but now we're like, okay, let's just drop the hammer. Now that like my stomach isn't giving me any issues this whole prep, and we've been testing the waters, pushing a little harder here, pushing a little harder there, and then I talked to Patrick today, and I was like, let's go, man, I'm good. Let's do it. And he was like, okay, we'll push, and that's what we're doing now. So I'm happy about it.
This is your first full prep with Patrick?
It'll be a completed one for nationals. We parted ways like a couple weeks out.
Okay. And then how about Texas?
That was with
That was
Andrew.
on. Oh yeah. I forgot Andrew. Okay, dope. All right, bet. Okay, so this is gonna be a slightly different prep. All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah, and we've changed from the past one with we did with nationals because we pushed really hard out the gate, and we kind of saw the feedback that my body gave us when things got really really hard. It just started to fight back. So now we understand like, okay, there's a fine line to walk, especially for myself, and it's knowing when to when to push it and when to, kind of hold the cards a little bit. So, yeah, we've done a great job with that one this time, and the communication has been great. We talk every day, and a lot of the things that I think in my head, he's already thinking them. So we've been on the page with this entire prep. So it's been great.
Very good.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand that like, when somebody sees somebody and they're not as shredded as they would like them to be, right? The first thing that comes to mind is more. You should do more cardio, less food, everything more, right? I think what people don't realize is sometimes that shit backfires. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. If it was, shit, everybody would be peeled. Because I think anybody could assume that, right? Let me just eat less to do more cardio. But there comes a time, like you said, your body does the opposite. Sometimes you start looking smaller and softer. You're like, holy, what the fuck is going on, right? So your body can only take so much going down and up. Same with off season. These past couple of weeks, my food been going up, and then my weight and performance is going down. I'm like, we're gonna wrap this off season up because this is not how it should be going, right? Yeah. So that's it, and I feel like shit, right? So like that's your body telling you like, nah, we're not doing this no more. So yeah, that's when you have to know. Okay, huh?
I was just saying that's a good way to think about it. Either a lot of times we think in the context of prep, but you even bringing it up to off season, like there's only so much food you can push down, and there's only there's only so hard you can push supplements and push the training so hard in the off season till your body's like, all right, we need to go the other way. So yeah, that's 100%. Yeah.
I gotta go train a client, guys. I gotta go.
All right, listen. You already know this.
Right. See ya.
Yeah.
Peace.
I basically came off of everything, and I'm gonna go on like a little health phase. And then yesterday, I'm like, I didn't want to train legs, but I had legs. I'm like, let me just go about 70%. So I started off. I'm like, this is not going very well. I'm like, I'm gonna just do one working set, and move on. I did one working set, midway a working set with hack squats. Knees hurting, lower back hurting. Then I felt like a what do you call it? Like a sharp pain shoot up my back. I racked it. I said, "So workout over." My body is telling me, bro, stop. Whatever you're doing, fucking stop. So I racked it, went home just like that. I'm like, this is not happening. So you have to know when to, in your 20s,
you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, man. Like there's, you got to know it.
It is what it is, and you'll end up feeling and looking better sometimes, or like sometimes Compton will be like, take the next 2 days off training and cardio, and then the way that finally drops, right? Because if you've been doing the opposite and your weight isn't dropping, shit, try the opposite, and then the opposite is do nothing, and do nothing for 2 days, and you're like, I feel a little better, weight drops. So sometimes that's just what it takes.
Yeah. There's been times during the prep where, we don't do like a refeed, but he'll just be like, okay, just like rest, just complete rest. Mm-hmm. Food stays the same, but just complete rest. And then, the next day I'll look better, and, I'll tighten up more and weight will come down a little bit more. So yeah, that's been something that's been different. To also answer your question, Stu, is, it's been more of like a feedback of like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty beat up, or like my legs feel heavy, and then like I say, okay, yeah, take a rest. But I'm always honest, like, I say, hey, like I feel good, like I'm good, like we'll check in. He'd be like, okay, check in with me tomorrow. Tell me how you feel. I'm like, I feel good. He'd be like, okay, cardio the same, 2 cardio sessions, and I'm like, cool.
So do you think that in the past, because like some of that, when you start to feel really beat up and shitty and your training sucks, so that's going to lead to like a lot of inflammation. Do you think that would end up affecting your stomach?
Oh, 100%. That's something I recently learned. In like what was I getting ready for? When I was actually in Brazil, and we started introducing like 2-a-day training. When I did that, I was wrecked. Like I was in the bathroom, all day the next day, because like I was just completely messed up from like the training. Nothing changed, but we started like, the training was really intense, and I noticed that this one time during this prep, we had a leg day, and I love training legs, like fucking balls to the walls, like it's my shit. And I'm doing SST, clusters and drops and all that stuff, and But I felt it the next day, not like necessarily in like my body. Like, of course, your legs are sore, but I was like in the bathroom the next day, just going, and I was like, okay, well, that's a sign that like, okay, I took myself a little bit too far. And that's something in previous preps when food was low, cardio was high. Like my training was always like I'm doing drop sets, like no reps in reserve. I don't know what the hell that is. Like it's heavy weight and a lot of reps until I fucking pass out. And that was training all the way up. That was it. That's just how I just knew what to do. But this time training has been a little bit more, I wouldn't say intuitive, but I have my dad there and he's been with me for like, ever since I've been training for football. So, he knows, okay, hey, all right, that set was good. All right, we'll do a back off set now. Like, he's been around the training with me for a long time. So he's pretty smart enough to say, and he's probably the only person I might listen to for him to be like, okay, stop, because I won't listen to myself. So yeah, that's been something that's been really new is that the training it's been good because I've been getting super strong. Like I'm still very strong, but it's been a more of a reserved approach far as like I'm not killing myself as much as I know I could.
Yeah, yeah.
So in turn, my body is responding better.
The biggest lesson I learned in bodybuilding is that training, it depends, but it depends who you're talking to. If you're talking to like an average gym goer is one thing, but if you're talking to somebody who has what it takes to get to your level, obviously knows how to train hard. So when it comes to somebody like you, Stu, at that level, training hard is a myth. It's like, what did that even mean? It makes a good Machiavelli motivation video, but you want to train properly. You want to train based off what you can recover from. Any
Mhm.
more than that doesn't make you a better bodybuilder. It might make you a cooler bodybuilder because you're going to be in more motivational videos and you're going
Yeah,
to have more shares. But does it make you a better bodybuilder?
yeah, yeah. Right. It's crazy because like today I worked up two squats, barbell squats, and I did 315 for 20, and then I did 405 for 15, and then I did 5 for 8.
Yeah,
5 plates for 8, 495 for 8, and then that was it. Then that was just like, okay, I could have, but I could have probably pushed for like 10, maybe 12 reps, right, on the 5 plates. But I was like, do I need to, did I need to? And my dad was like, that's it. I racked it, and he goes like this, and then I'm like, okay. And I don't even put up an argument.
yeah,
In the
yeah.
past, I'd be like, nah, fuck that. We're gonna drop set this thing. We're gonna break this bitch down, yo. Let's go.
Yeah,
Because I just had that sick mentality. It didn't matter. Like I wanted to crush. I wanted to kill myself. Not in the gym. I just wanted to fucking be like, I spent myself in the gym, and that was worthwhile, and it's going to make me better. But it was the opposite. Like you know what I mean? Like when you're eating 50 to 100 grams of carbs and you're doing 90 minutes of cardio, it's like, and you're also training really hard. It's like, where's that all coming from? Like you have nothing left. And then like, then we're taking supplements that might, affect our sleep. So, what I mean? Like, so
sure,
you might
yeah.
be getting like 5 hours of sleep because you're waking up pissing throughout the night because you're drinking so much water and all those things add up, right? So you're like, like it just goes all counterintuitive. So I think and another way to circle back to your question is just like I kind of gotten smarter with my own approach, and I would say I learned more about my own body, you know, this time around than I have in the years I've been competing.
Good, good, yeah. Well, because there's a big difference between training your muscles hard, which you have to, but you don't want to train your nervous system. Fucking motherfucker, we training our damn respiratory system too hard. Like
Yeah, yeah,
we train all the other systems so hard that we're so burnt out and we don't know why we feel like shit. But it must be the low food. It's like part of it, but you also by the time you squat 5 plates and 6 plates, your nervous system is way more shot than your quads, right? That's the truth. So yeah, it's cool, but you just put yourself in a hole that is gonna take you days to recover from. But your legs could probably go again in 3 days, but your entire nervous system is fucked now.
yeah,
So what did you gain from that besides feeling good? Like, yeah, I killed that fucking workout, but it's like, are you
yeah,
are you better on stage?
yeah, yeah,
I, I just got tired of being backstage and talking to people or knowing people that are beating me on stage that I'm training harder than, dieting harder than, suffering harder than. It's like, Nobody cared. The judges aren't like, yeah, that guy. I saw his video. He was getting after it. I don't give a fuck. They're like, who looks better on stage, motherfucker? You don't. So go pack it up, pack it up, go home, bro. So then you learn like, maybe I gotta have a different approach. And then we're not gonna be young forever. So how do you want to feel when you're older as well? So
Yeah, exactly. 32 now. I'm not 22.
you see, so you using your brains, and yeah, for you, I think you could compete as long as you want. Well, I can say anybody if you do it the right way, you can have the longevity you want. Is that the only thing that stop people usually are injuries, like right?
It's themselves. I mean, you get caught up in the dogma of training one way and knowing one way and dieting one way, and it kind of you change as a person, your body changes, and like this was like a really. I think this was one of the best preps as far as like I've learned myself a lot more, like intuitively, like when we're making calls, I'm thinking about them, and when I don't even mention them to Patrick, and he goes, "Okay, we're going to do this," I'm like, "Oh well, we're on the same page," because I was thinking about the same thing. So I have more confidence in myself, and he has confidence in our communication and the execution of it. So. Yeah, it's been awesome, dude. Like I've been pretty happy with everything. Yeah, it's been good, dude. So
let me pull this up because I don't remember your back looking like this.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely some more thickness. I see some more width going on. Did your back training in particular change as far as execution, exercises, shit like that?
Yeah, yeah. I again, it was just like more learning about myself and learning, what the things that I connected with. And so, I wouldn't say I was like a grip and rip type of guy. But it was just finding exercise that I could really just lock in and be like, that feels good. And not falling into like, I always have to progress, because you might row, barbell row two plates, 275. I'm like, man, that feels really good. The connection's great. Then you go to 3 and you're like, damn, I just lost it. So, why not just stay with 275 and just fucking just keep, locking that in and progressing up. So that's something that, as for example, that I've been, working on and getting better with. Again, just kind of getting out of my own way and just connecting with my muscles a bit better, like I do with my arms, like I do with my quads and my chest and my shoulders. So I finally think it's coming around towards the back. It took a little while, but it's slowly getting there. And I think with one more good off season, not putting the cart before the horse, but I think a really good off season, we'll make even better improvements. Because I think a lot of those improvements happened in prep. Like I think I grew during this prep, like it's just
Fire. All right, you down to do a couple questions? We do like probably 2.
questions.
Okay.
Yeah, but how you guys doing though, man? I fucks with the haircut, bro.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah,
Both
man.
of our haircuts.
Yeah, like, you see I gotta show the waves every time somebody mentions.
You wearing a do-rag now?
Oh, come on, you know what time it is. They gotta gotta do something with it. Shit, I might try to go it one more time if it allows me to grow. Maybe like a little like a mohawk or something, a little, but I don't even know if it's gonna grow. I gotta be honest with you, but let's see. It's time to pack it up, man. 32 now. It's time to pack it up.
Dude, did you ever braid your hair, bro, when it was that long? Did you ever do like cornrows, like the Mark Anthony cornrows?
Yeah, when I first started growing it,
did you ever do that? Did you ever grow?
Oh,
do you give yourself cornrows when you like long hair? Yeah,
Puerto Rican.
Me with cornrows.
I'm just saying, try it. Just, like fuck around and be like, let me see what it looked like.
Dude, I gotta get Jay to do that on me.
It can work, bro.
Some cornrows, like just one cornrow, like right down
the Mark Anthony joints, bro, where you're like down to here.
Yeah, bro, it would look fine. But when he had the fro, if he went to Jay, get the fade, the lineup, and get like
right with
get like 2 braids,
the hairline with the taper,
bro, it's over.
Oh my God.
I gotta see. Get a little earring, get a little stud earring in there.
Listen, okay, like if you're gonna rock hair like that, like you have to win whatever show you're doing.
You
Like, you're
have
so
to, yeah. Good
fucking
point.
stupid.
What the kids call nowadays? Aura. You got that aura.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Aura's through the roof.
Hey, man. I think Stu could pull it off. Honestly, I think Stu, but he definitely gonna look Puerto Rican. Then he definitely gonna look Puerto Rican. He can pull it off. All right,
Never be an allegation.
let's let's see what we got.
Yes, sir.
How do you know that you're ready to compete in your first show?
I don't know, dude. I think I just did it. To be honest with you, I just did it. I don't know.
Well, because you don't have any because at first I was gonna say, what are you looking to achieve? Are you looking to win? But you have no perspective. You don't even know what that means. You know, because I was thinking about, oh, I want to win, but I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't even know fucking winning meant.
I didn't.
You know,
I just
I
did it.
think
I would go to a show, like watch an amateur show,
that's a
like
good
to
one.
see if it's even interesting to you and understand how it works, you know, and like I think like ideally like you should probably have somebody who knows what they're talking about, like suggest to you that you should get on stage. You know, because everybody nowadays is like blowing smoke up each other's asses, like, oh, you should compete, bro. You look great, bro. Blah blah blah. You probably don't. So like, I don't know, someone maybe older than you who knows the sport, like if they say that you have a physique and you could actually diet down and look good, maybe listen to them.
Yeah. Good point.
That's true.
But yeah, ultimately, like if you want to try it, just fucking try it. Give yourself plenty of time, and if you don't like the process, then there you go. Like you tried it, and don't do it again if you don't like it. And please, I would really recommend most people do your first show without getting on drugs. Like, because you know, if you like it, then you can make that decision afterwards and be like, okay, I want to take this sport seriously and like do what it takes to win, right? But if you've already made that decision before you ever got on stage, now you're like, oh, I don't even like this sport, but now I've kind of like fucked up my endocrine system, and you can't like undo that. You can undo it, but it's just going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
Good
I think a lot of
point.
people when they get into it, I'm just like, you don't even realize like that, like the drugs is just one part of it, but like there's the blood work and there's like, you know, the other health supplements you got to take, and you know all this stuff of managing it. Like you're not even thinking full big picture, like 10 years down the road. So it's a big scope that you have to like actually take in. And so just, you know, when I did my first show, I didn't even know. I was so naive, man. Like I was just there, and I just had, and I looked good enough to win my class, but I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, oh, I won. Okay, great. This is cool. And I just did, and then I did another show, and then I did another show, and I was like, then I started settling into the concepts of, okay, this is what it is to, you know, diet, and you know, you're peaking, and you know, backstage pump up and things like that. Like none of that stuff really came to mind until I started doing, till like my third show. Like I was just so naive, and I think but I also think that's the fun part of it, you know, because Instagram was just coming around, right? Like I wasn't really like, there was no, Instagram was just getting popular with fitness. Not even getting popular with fitness, it was just getting around. So I don't know, man. Like if you do a first prep, like maybe stay off of social media. Don't be posting like, oh, I'm a NPC bodybuilder and all that shit, man. Like just do the thing. Do the thing and actually see if you enjoy it before you start like posting and doing all this and documenting my winter arc and all that shit. Like just do the thing first, and then that shit will come.
For sure, yeah. I feel like there's a best case scenario, but unfortunately, most people don't have the genetics for the best case scenario. But from my perspective, like from a coach's perspective, seeing my clients who've had the most success, it seems to be kind of what Stu said. It's other people, right? So, one of my clients, he was my neighbor, and I met him, and he was always eating junk food. I'm like, this guy looks like that. We're eating junk food. And then I caught him working out at the lobby gym in the apartment. I'm like, this is where you work out? I'm like, what gym you go to? I just work out here. With 20-pound dumbbells, bro? Yeah, work out here. And he looked like a NPC competitor. So I'm like, well, I'm assuming he's natural because nobody gonna take gear to work out at the apartment. So I'm like, yo, give me a full prep and you're gonna win your show. He gave me 3 weeks and he still won the show. Think about it, so and at that point I was like, okay, you let me coach you till next year's nationals or whatever national you do, you're gonna get your pro card. I don't care if you're natural or not. He's shorter, so he would be like a middleweight, and I'm like, I don't care what they take. They ain't gonna beat genetics like that, regardless. So it's like that would be best case scenario. Everybody isn't gonna be that guy, but if you are that guy, I had that happen with a bikini girl as well. At the time, you could do the Arnold without qualifying. The Arnold is NPC now, so you can't do that. But at that time, you didn't have to qualify for the Arnold Amateur. You remember that, Arnold? You could just go sign up and do the Arnold Amateur. So she did. I believe that was her first show, and she got her card in bikini, right? And she didn't even know what that was, right? So that's just genetics and just being able to be coachable and actually follow the plan. So if you can just somebody can tell you you're good at it, help you out, and you could follow it to the T, and you have genetics, that's almost the best case scenario. Naturally the whole nine.
You're so when you're so like just a beginner like that. Like I felt I was so naive. Like I didn't know anything else. Like I didn't know about refeeds and all these things. I just stuck to the plan because that was just what was in front of me,
Yeah,
and that was it. But when you have you get a little bit, all these outside influences of like social media and like, well, that person's getting a refeed and that person's doing this and that person's doing that and their coach is telling them this. You get it muddies the water. So I think when you're just so young and getting into it, that's why I mentioned staying off of social media and stuff. Just do the thing and enjoy the thing before you start to get into the other aspects of it. What I mean? See if you really, really love it for what it is.
I kind of miss the naivety of early days in the sport.
It's fun
when you didn't know anything and things were just more fun because you were kind of trying shit out, and the first show experience for me was so sick because I had my friend there. He'd done some men's physique shows, and he was giving me pointers the whole time. He didn't coach me through the prep or anything. He was like my big brother, and he was giving me advice, and neither of us really knew what we were doing, but it was still a lot of fun. It's some of my best memories of the sport, or when I was completely clueless.
It's so much more fun. You can know too much for your own good.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. You can know a little bit too much for your own good.
For sure, yeah. I feel like I did so much research that it made me uncoachable because I had so much shit in my mind. But how come this guy isn't doing refeeds? How come this guy doesn't have me taking trend? How come this guy does? So then you start doing too much when all you have to do is but all you had to do was just follow the recipe, and those are the people who do the best, who know the least, and just follow the plan. Seems to be the people who do the best. All right, let's do one more. Why do the guys with the best physique always stay covered up and never show the physique?
I don't know. Why do you do that, Carlos?
I don't know. I just I don't know. I've always done it though. Even when I first started, the guy, I was doing my first prep, and the guy was like, "Man, cover up, man. What are you doing? Doing your cardio in shorts? Cover up, man. Put sweats and a hoodie on. Sweat that shit out." And I was like, "Oh, that's what I got to do. I got to train covered up." So I just always done that. So it just stuck with me.
There's a bunch of reasons, right? I think because when you start off from 0 to 10%, you've never had muscles, you never had a physique, so it's almost like, wow, look at how good I look, when you actually don't look that good, but for your perspective you look so good, right? And you're smaller, so if you have a baggy tee on at 150, nobody knows you have muscles. So you're like, let me try to show my muscles because I don't really have it. Okay, if you don't have money, the only people who flaunt money are broke people. Rich people don't flaunt money. right? So when you have something, you don't have to flaunt it. Everybody knows Stu is big. Everybody knows Carlos is big. So you don't have to show it off. But when you're not big, now you feel the need. I gotta look big. So let me, So right, and then
You're the only one wearing a tank top on the podcast.
exactly. You see my point,
Please
right?
note that.
But you see my point, right? And then also when you get to your size, people are gonna see it. So maybe okay, you're in prep right now, 4 weeks out. You don't necessarily want everybody like, "Whoa, look at you! Do you compete? Are you pro? What do you do?" So you also kind of want to just if you go to a supermarket, you don't want the entire supermarket like, "Wow, look at that guy." So you rather be covered up. They can still see it a little bit, but but you don't. You also don't want them to be all up in your business. So you're almost kind of shying away from the attention. Whereas the beginners, they want all the attention because they've never had it. That's probably the most accurate assessment, I would have to say, and it's not a vanity thing also. So at this point, at least, so none of us give a fuck to really be noticed for that besides the actual sport, I guess. So that I think that would be the fairest assessment to answer that question, right? That makes sense. Almost.
Yeah, definitely in public. Like I always like I usually like keep myself pretty covered up if I'm going to the grocery store or something. In the gym, it kind of depends. Like I'm not opposed to wearing tank tops. I wear them pretty regularly, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of do it so I can see myself more than other people can see me. Because like everyone at the gym knows who I am for the most part.
I think like I'll probably like take my shirt off and have like my tank top on for maybe like a couple sets here and there, just seeing the muscles. But then afterwards, honestly I put my shirt right back on. I'm like, I see what I need.
Same here. Same here. Yeah. I would rather be there at the airport sweating my balls off before I take my shirt off. Just it's. I don't know if it's a shyness thing. Whereas I remember like Joe and Paul, they'll be like, I'm hot, and they'll take it off, and everybody's like, what the fuck? I don't want that shit, man. I don't want that at all. So I'll keep it there. I'll just be sweating my ass off, and I'll just be in the airplane seat sweating bullets. Like I should really take my shirt off, but I'm not gonna do it. It's just I feel uncomfortable doing that. So that's now there are exceptions. There are bigger guys who like to show skin, and there are smaller guys who stay covered up. Joe doesn't mind showing skin. He's also been bigger for a smaller amount of time. When I like Joe wasn't this big, nearly this big 4 years ago, right? Whereas maybe we've been big a little longer. Maybe I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it's still newer. Or even Janicki. Janicki shows a lot of skin, but Janicki wasn't big when I met him. He wasn't that big. So
that's also part of his image too. Like,
that's true.
Look at how jacked he is. You guys see it, how he looks and how he's training and his content. So
that's true. That's true. Yeah, because if he's saying this training is good for you, people also want to see. Okay, well let's see what he look like. Oh, okay. Sorry, big fella, you got it. So you want to show it as well. Whereas
honestly, I just wear whatever Gasp gives me. They just like keep on giving me shirts, and I'll be like, okay, cool.
Yeah. You know what another factor is? We don't actually think we look that good because our standards we're trying to achieve something we haven't achieved already. So everybody else is like, whoa, look at these guys. Whereas you're like, I could use more hamstrings, So right, you guys aren't admiring yourself like, wow, I look so good. You're seeing everything you don't have as well. Whereas early on, you're seeing the opposite. You're like, wow, I have big arms. Yeah, but you got no legs. But you're not worried about that right now. So it's actually a pretty good question. I think it's like the bigger the guy is, the more covered up they are. Literally, you know. Fucking Hunter had probably the biggest T-shirt. No, Sean Clarita had the biggest T-shirt on at the expo. That man had like a 5X on, And,
it was probably like a 2 or a 3, dude. But see what you're saying.
Yeah, so yeah, all the biggest guys at the expo had the biggest fucking Gasp or whatever brand tees they had on, and all the little guys, the smallest guys had no shirt. You know how it goes. The the 150-pound guys, no shirt, walking around the expo, booty shorts and no shirt.
Dude,
Fucking
there was a kid at Destination who he trains in there every single day with who I presume is his boyfriend. Like,
okay.
I think they're gay because this kid literally every like 10 minutes into the workout he just takes his shirt off, and he's probably 140 pounds, my height. Like no joke, he looks like a legitimate twink. He doesn't have any muscle on him. Every single day he takes his shirt off.
Does that bother you a little bit?
Yeah, it does. It does, man. I mean, like, okay, the only time that I would like take my shirt off while I was training is if I was told to do so by a photographer and it was like a photo shoot, you know? Otherwise, like if I'm posing, it's going to be in the posing room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That whole shirt off stuff, I'm kind of like,
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
bruh.
Why? Why?
Yeah.
Showing us like there's nothing on you.
No. This is not even a joke. There's a guy at Zoo Culture that I shit you not. He never had the shirt on, and he walks in the gym with his shirt on his shoulder. His shirt is not on when he walks into the gym.
It's like a man purse. It's like an accessory that he's on his shoulder.
Oh my god! I feel like everybody's annoyed. I don't know why it bothers us, but I feel like every single person in that gym is annoyed that he's walking in the gym without a shirt, and the entire 2 hours there's no shirt. It just bothers everybody for some reason. I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't bother me, but I'm working out. I'm like, this shirtless guy is really bothering me for some reason. He's distracted me. I just put it on. You're not. I don't know. And regardless of how good or bad your physique looks, is so unnecessary, man. It doesn't make sense. Imagine if a girl was walking around with no pants. It's like
I was about to say, dude, same goes for women. Like if you were wearing a sports bra and booty shorts pull up your ass, you're wearing underwear in public.
yeah,
Imagine if I was walking around the gym in fucking boxers. That's not okay, right? That's what you're doing, girls. It's not appropriate.
No,
I'm not some prude, you know, like I'm not telling you to wear a fucking burqa, but like for God's sake, that is underwear.
there's levels to it. Like if you're filming content in shorts and like there's levels to sports bras and booty shorts, right? They're the level that for content you're like, yeah, cool. But there's levels to it. They have booty shorts that are literally underwear. I'm talking about it's not covering your ass. It's literally underwear. Right? Same with the sports bar. Nothing is being covered. And that's like they're on the equipment, sitting on the equipment, bare ass cheeks on the equipment. Are you cold? Are you not cold right now? It's insane. You know?
Well, if they're cold, you'll see it.
Booty and kuka sweat just all over the shit, bro. Just like, come on, that's not cool.
I think it's way unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't think even the followers that follow your content need to see that per se, but hey, I guess that's
like 80% like pervy dudes, so that's the only reason they follow them. So yeah, they do need to see it.
you good point. My favorite gym fit on girls is the shorts with the oversized tee. I like that. It makes me feel like
13-year-old boy outfit.
I don't know
exactly what you're talking about, and I like it too.
It makes me feel like you're getting busy in there, whether you are or not. It just makes me feel like you're getting some work done in the gym. I'm like, oh, she got the oversized tee with the shorts. I like it. You know, so that's up my alley. You know. All right.
Were you talking about skin tight shorts or like?
I don't mind. I mean, whatever kind of shorts. I mean, as long as it's covering your ass, pretty much. Ass cheeks.
Okay, so like, I got one problem with that. If they're wearing like booty shorts and their t-shirt is so baggy that I cannot see that they're wearing shorts,
Yeah.
it looks like they're just wearing a t-shirt, which is
No. They usually tie something up like the way. Don't they usually tie
Tuck it in
a
the back.
knot?
Tuck it in the back of the
yeah,
shirt.
tuck it in the back or like tie a little fucking knot. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we talked about the t-shirt. The t-shirt thing. I like that at home. The little t-shirt dress when they got on one of your gas,
yeah,
please. You know what I'm
in your
saying?
bedroom, dude.
Oh yeah,
In
I like that.
private.
It sounds. I'll prefer that over your underwear. If you're at the house and you got the little shirt on, it got to be like a 2X. I don't want it too baggy. So if you reach for something in the cabinet, you're like, okay, you go grab me that cream of rice over there. Yeah, that's
Right. You get a little fat.
Yeah, let me get some. Grab the creatine while you're up there.
Right. Put it on the top
That-
shelf.
That's the best case scenario. That's better than even walking around the house naked. That's too much stimulus. I don't need that much stimulus right now. Just baggy t-shirt, 2X baggy t-shirt. We good.
But again, that's at home, right?
That's at
Like,
home, no.
the
No.
big old line there between home and the gym.
Well, you see the issue. If everybody at the gym gets to see that, then what are you saving for home?
Special. Yeah.
Yeah. So who gets the person at home doesn't get anything that the whole gym didn't get. That's not that don't sit right, Unless we just old school, we getting old, and we just sound like
Dude, I know. I refuse to accept that. That is not old school. That is civilized.
that's
Like,
yeah.
don't let these modern hoe women convince you that it's normal to wear underwear in public, because it's not.
This is not the wave. It's not the wave. So yeah, shout out to the girls that don't show their ass at the gym, but wear that oversized tee at home when they grab when thank you for the cream of rice when they make the cream of rice. All right. All right. Thank y'all for coming on, your Carlos. Thank you for coming on so close to the show. You look like you still in good spirits, man.
Yeah. Everything's good, man. Like I'm obviously, I have my moments.
Yeah.
But things have been really good, man.
Good, yeah.
I can't complain. Like, so you know how it is. Sometimes you get a little irritated, and then
For sure,
and then next thing you know, you're like, I'm fine. So it's just like, it's prep feels. But I would say like this mentally, this is probably one of the best times I've been doing prep where like I'm more aware of how I'm feeling than reacting, out of like hunger or just irritation before you get a little snappy. And now like I can feel it and I'm just like, you know what? I'm a little irritated right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me just chill.
Yeah.
And that's just, that's just how it is when you get lower in food and you're tired and stuff. But yeah, but things have been good, dude. I can't complain, and I'm super excited for the rest of these weeks here. I'm happy that we made these changes because I'm about to dig into this motherfucking shit like I'd never had before, and it's gonna be good.
Good. Hey, did you watch any of the episodes when we were all on prep around the same time, and those episodes got a little rough?
Yeah.
But
I
those got a little
apologize for my behavior.
it wasn't as upbeat. Let's just say that there was no jokes being cracked. It was just straight face. So I would just go blank sometimes, and I would just
The fact that you guys kept it going though, that was awesome.
Yeah, we should have.
I would see. It's funny because me and Stu were both in prep, so I would check and I was like, "Am I the only one annoyed?" Well, I'm forgetting Stu is just as irritated. So he's like, I'm annoyed too. Yeah, we all.
I was definitely, dude. I was worse than you for sure because I was like dieting, but also like just fucking bitter about stuff.
Yo, I would find everybody annoying for no reason, and then sometimes we talk over each other. And if somebody didn't let me talk, I would get mad. I didn't want to talk anymore. I would just sit there like, okay, they're not going to let me talk. Let me just sit here. I was just getting irritated for stupid shit, bro. It was so ridiculous. I'm like, why does this guy keep talking? Stop talking about yourself. And it's silly. You just get, you know how it is, just randomly. But we still kept doing
this
it.
all again.
Yeah. Run it back, man. I'm excited for it.
Once you start missing episodes, that's it. You don't come back from it. You're like, I don't want to do it, and then you never do it. That's just why a lot of podcasts just don't continue because it's harder than it looks, if you're actively like prepping and stuff. But I figured I would press record if it was too bad to air. Maybe I don't air it, but we'll film it.
Go get it. Go get some content.
Gotta try.
Why is this episode 10 minutes? Oh shit!
Yeah, why does that show?
What the whole shit?
Nobody got into a fight though. I mean, me and Ken would argue a lot, but never got too bad. We don't argue off season like right. We haven't argued in a long time.
Yeah,
A
You
debate.
guys are getting along great. Good.
yeah. Let's see how he is when he gets deep into New York.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen Ken in prep. He's Nigerian. He'll be all right. All right.
All right, folks. Thank you.
All right,
guys.
gentlemen.